You've felt it before, those electric, almost surreal moments when women seem drawn to you for reasons you can't explain. Like that moment at the party, when she locked eyes with you, held it for just a second too long, then quickly looked away. Your heart raced. You probably told yourself, she's just being polite. But was she? Or did she just sense something in you? Something magnetic, something primal. Most men never realize what's really happening here. But what? If you're carrying a hidden X factor that silently draws women in without you even trying? Would you even recognize it? If you've ever caught a woman stealing glances at you, drop a in the comments. And stay until the end, because the last sign flips everything you thought you knew. You ever walk into a room and just feel it? Like a slow hum beneath the surface. Not something anyone says. Not something you can even explain. But somehow, eyes land on you. Not all at once. Not dramatic. But subtle, calculated. Like heat-seeking glances that flicker toward you when they think you're not watching. And maybe, for a second, your confidence swells. You start to wonder, did she just look at me? But just as fast, your brain jumps in with the kill shot. Nah, don't be ridiculous. Coincidence. You shake it off. Pretend you didn't notice. But it's not the first time, is it? There was that night at the bar. Dim lights, slow music, just enough ambient noise to blur voices together. You weren't doing anything special, just talking with your friends. But from the corner of your eye, you noticed it again. The way two women at a nearby table kept adjusting their posture, angling their knees toward your direction. The way one of them tucked her hair behind her ear whenever you moved, even though no wind was blowing. You tell yourself it's probably nothing. Maybe they're just repositioning. Maybe she was just hot. Maybe you imagined the whole thing. But deep down, a part of you knows. You felt this invisible current before. Like some gravitational field that subtly pulls attention your way. Women you barely know seem oddly curious. Sometimes they find reasons to be near you without ever saying why. And you've spent years not trusting it, dismissing it, laughing it off. Because no one ever explained what this is. Here's the truth. What you've been brushing off as coincidence. That's not random. That's the X factor. It's rare. It's real. And it operates under the radar of logic. Women feel it before they process it. It's not about looks or money. It's about presence. And you have it, even if you've been too humble or too doubtful to believe it. Most guys ignore these signs completely. But you're starting to see. And once you learn what to look for, everything changes. So next time you feel that subtle pull when the energy in the room shifts slightly and you catch her eyes darting your way, don't shrink. Don't downplay it. Hold your posture. Let her feel it longer. You're not imagining things. You're starting to wake up to the current you've been generating this whole time. There's something almost magnetic about it. You're standing there, maybe mid-conversation, talking about something completely random, your weekend plans, a story about work, even something as stupid as the weather. And yet, there it is again. That pull. She's leaning in. Not overtly, not dramatically, just slightly, but enough to notice. You probably didn't catch it the first few times it happened. Most men don't. They think she's just trying to hear better. Maybe the room's too loud. Maybe she's just being polite. That's what your brain tells you, right? But there's something else going on here, something you can't ignore once you see it. Imagine this. You're seated at a cafe. The table small, the atmosphere warm. You're sharing some casual conversation. She laughs at a joke, not even your best one, and suddenly her upper body shifts forward. It's subtle. Her chin tilts slightly down. Her eyes lift toward you, and her elbows creep onto the table. She's leaning in, inches closer than before. Her body is betraying her thoughts. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. But you've just become her center of gravity. It's not about what you're saying. It's not about the noise level. It's about your presence. Women lean in when their subconscious pulls them toward you, when they're seeking more of your energy. They're drawn in, like moths to a flame, except this flame burns slow and steady, not bright and wild. She leans in because she's curious, because something about you makes her want to be closer. And the more you notice this, the more undeniable it becomes. Most guys miss this entirely. They think leaning in is just friendly engagement. But you're starting to recognize the signs. You're realizing this isn't about friendliness. This is about fascination. And here's where it gets even more interesting. When she leans in without realizing it, you have a choice. Most men keep talking. They ramp up their energy, trying to impress her more. But not you. You're smarter than that. The real move here is to lower your voice slightly. Pull back. Just a bit. Because when you reduce your energy, she'll lean in even more to chase it. Next time you catch her leaning toward you, whether in conversation, on a date, or even at a party, don't rush. Don't overplay it. Instead, slow your words just a little. Let your voice drop half a step quieter. Watch what happens. Watch how she unconsciously leans even further, as if the room has faded away and all that's left is your voice pulling her deeper. This isn't luck. This isn't accidental. This is your X factor doing exactly what it's meant to do. And now that you can see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. There's a strange kind of dance that happens between two sets of eyes. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it every time. It starts with a glance, quick, almost accidental. She looks at you, but the second your eyes meet hers, she looks away. Fast. Too fast to seem casual. In your head. You brush it off. She wasn't even looking at me, you tell yourself. She was probably just zoning out. But somewhere inside, that little spark of doubt flares. Was that a signal? Or just a fluke? Let me paint it clearly for you. You're sitting at a coffee shop. Your eyes wander, not looking for anything in particular. And there she is, 2 tables away. She's scrolling through her phone, sipping her drink, totally relaxed, or so it seems. Suddenly, her eyes flick up. They lock with yours for half a second. You catch it, but she snaps her gaze downward instantly, as if burned by the connection. And then, she does something interesting. A minute later, when she thinks you've looked away, she steals another glance. Quick, sneaky, but deliberate. It's like she's playing a game with herself, testing the waters, seeing if she can sneak a look without getting caught. But here's what's really going on beneath that surface. What looks like shyness. That's her mind wrestling with attraction. She doesn't want to be obvious. She doesn't want to seem too eager. But she can't help herself. Her eyes are drawn back to you, again and again, because something about you has already slipped under her skin. This happens more often than you realize. Women process attraction differently. While men are more direct, more visually obvious, women play in subtleties. Their eyes tell the story long before their words do. And if you're sharp enough to notice, it becomes crystal clear. Most guys see that quick glance and assume it was nothing. They don't notice the second look. They never catch the lingering gaze when she thinks they're distracted. But you're not most guys anymore. You're paying attention. You're starting to decode the signals. Here's your move. The next time you catch her staring, and she looks away, don't look away yourself. Keep your gaze steady for just a beat longer. When she looks back, and she will look back, meet her eyes calmly. Don't smirk. Don't stare her down. Just hold it. Soft but unwavering, until she's the one who has to break eye contact again. That's how you flip the script. That's how you let her know, without words, that you see her. and that you're not easily shaken. You'll be surprised how often women start to linger around you after this. Suddenly, she's curious. Suddenly, you're the guy she can't stop noticing. And it all started with that fleeting glance you almost ignored. You've probably misread this one before. Most guys do. You see, when a woman gets nervous around you, when she fidgets, stumbles over words, or starts acting a little strange, your first instinct might be to think she's uncomfortable. That? Maybe you've done something wrong. You start overthinking it, wondering if you're being too intense or if she's just not into you at all. But the truth, it's almost the exact opposite. Picture this moment. You're chatting with her at a casual get-together. The conversation starts light music, movies, whatever's floating around in the room. But you notice something subtle. Her hands won't stay still. 1 second, she's twisting her hair around her finger. The next, she's fiddling with her jewelry, sliding a bracelet up and down her wrist, or adjusting her necklace like it suddenly started bothering her. A laugh comes out just a little too loud, like she's trying to fill the space between you but doesn't quite know how to sit with the tension. She might even start stumbling over her words, losing her train of thought in the middle of a sentence, then laughing it off nervously. You think to yourself, she must not be interested. She seems distracted. But that's where the emotional contrast kicks in. What feels like disinterest on the surface is actually high-stakes emotional tension underneath. In her mind, everything about this interaction is dialed up to 11. She's hyper-aware of her every move. She's wondering what you think of her. She's analyzing every word she says, every reaction she gets from you. And because she's already attracted, her body betrays her composure. That nervous energy? It's not fear. It's excitement clashing with self-consciousness. Most guys get insecure here. They sense her nervousness and instantly assume it's a bad sign. They try to overcompensate, talking faster, making jokes, filling every gap in the conversation. But not you. You're learning to recognize this for what it really is. You're seeing it as a compliment. When she's nervous around you, it means you've already got her attention. It means she's invested enough to care about how she's coming across. And that's your cue to slow everything down. Here's your move in this moment. When you notice her fidgeting or stumbling, don't speed up. Lean back just slightly. Relax your shoulders. Lower your voice. Give her space to catch her breath, but hold her gaze steady. That calm, grounded presence will either soothe her or make her spiral even deeper into that nervous intrigue. Either way, you win. Because you're not just another guy who missed the signal. You're the man who understands what's really happening beneath the surface. The next time you see her fidgeting, smiling too quickly, or laughing a bit too hard, don't overthink it. Don't shrink away. Lean back. Slow down. Let her feel the full weight of your calm. Watch how fast her curiosity about you grows after that. There's a point in every interaction where things shift, where the easy laughter, the playful glances, the subtle leaning in suddenly turns into something else. A test. And it almost always catches you off guard the first time it happens. You're having a good conversation, feeling like you're finally in sync. Then out of nowhere, she throws a curveball. Maybe it's a playful jab about your job, a teasing remark about your clothes, or she challenges something you said earlier, poking at your opinions, questioning your tastes. It seems random, almost mean-spirited. And inside, you feel that flicker of heat rising in your chest, that little voice whispering, "What the hell? Where'd that come from?" Most guys get defensive here. They tense up. They try to explain themselves. They backpedal or snap back without thinking. But here's the psychological truth most men never hear. She's not trying to offend you. She's testing you. Testing your emotional core. Testing whether you can handle her storm. You see, Attraction isn't just about charm or looks or humor. For women, it's deeply tied to security, emotional security. She needs to know that you're grounded, that you can't be swayed or rattled by playful pressure. Her subconscious is watching closely. She's asking herself, can this man hold his center? And the only way for her to find out is to push. Imagine this scene. You're at a house party. She's laughing with you, her body language open, everything flowing naturally. Then she tilts her head, smirks, and says, "Wow, you really listen to that band? That's bold." She's clearly teasing. But her eyes? Her eyes are locked onto yours, scanning every flicker of your reaction. In this moment, most guys fumble. They either get flustered and start defending their taste in music, or they try to flip it back, but with a sharp, bitter edge that reeks of insecurity. But not you. Not anymore. Here's the secret move, one that few men ever master. You smile. Not a forced, defensive smile, but a calm, knowing one. You hold her gaze, let the teasing hang in the air, then answer lightly. Maybe you say, "Oh yeah, I've got questionable taste, and I own it," or "guilty as charged. I like what I like." No tension, no over-explaining, just grounded, playful certainty. What happens next? She softens almost every time, because deep down, what she's really seeking isn't dominance or agreement, it's steadiness. She wants to feel that you're unshakable, that you don't crumble under playful heat. And when you pass this test, her attraction often skyrockets. Here's your action step. The next time a woman teases you, mocks something you like, or playfully questions you, don't defend. Don't attack back. Pause. Smile. Answer with calm humor or playful indifference. Watch her eyes carefully. You'll see it. That flicker of respect. That subtle shift where she realizes you're different. Most men get caught in the trap of reacting. But you're learning to lead through calm. And once you master this, you'll notice women testing you more. Not because they're trying to knock you down, but because they're hoping you'll pass. There's a moment most men never notice, because they're too focused on the woman right in front of them. They're locked in analyzing every word she says, every smile she flashes, every laugh she lets slip. But here's the truth most guys miss. Sometimes, the biggest sign of her attraction doesn't come from her at all. It comes from her friends. You've probably experienced this without even realizing it. You're at a social gathering, maybe a dinner, a party, or even just a casual hangout at someone's house. She's there, surrounded by her friends, and you're doing your thing, just talking, not trying to impress anyone. But suddenly, you catch it. That ripple effect. Her friends start glancing your way, whispering to each other, giggling in hushed tones, then glancing back again. One of them bumps her shoulder and grins, as if they're all in on some unspoken secret. You notice them giving you playful, approving looks. And at first you think, are they just being friendly? You chalk it up to coincidence, or maybe they're just naturally sociable. But here's what's really happening beneath that surface. Women are tribal by nature. Their friends act as emotional mirrors, amplifiers, and gatekeepers all at once. If she's drawn to you, her friends will feel it, even if she hasn't admitted it out loud yet. And sometimes they'll act on her behalf, testing the waters, giving her subtle encouragement, or, in some cases, trying to insert themselves into the conversation just to see how you respond. Her friends becoming playful or overly friendly toward you isn't random. It's a sign that you've already passed an invisible threshold. You've become the topic of their side conversations. You've become that guy in the group, the one they're nudging her about under the table. Most guys stay blind to this. They focus so much on the girl they're attracted to that they miss the bigger picture. But not you. You're beginning to see the entire field. Imagine this scene. You walk past a group of women at a bar. You lock eyes with one of them, the one you're interested in, but keep walking, relaxed and unbothered. Behind you, her friends burst into quiet laughter. You catch it faintly, just over the music. One of them says something in her ear, and they all glance your way again. That's not random. That's attraction radiating outward. Here's your move. The next time you catch her friends stealing glances, whispering, or giggling around, you don't ignore it. Flash a brief, knowing smile. A subtle glance that says, "Yeah, I see you." Then go right back to doing your thing. Confident, cool, unfazed. That small moment shifts everything. It shows her and her friends that you're socially aware, but not desperate for approval. And more often than not, it makes her attraction for you deepen, because now, you're not just the guy she's noticing. You're the guy her entire social circle is buzzing about. There's one sign that goes deeper than all the others. One that doesn't show itself in glances, body language, or playful teasing. It's invisible on the surface, but it lingers. It sticks. Long after you've left the room. Long after the conversation ends. It's the moment when you stop being just a man she noticed and become the man she can't stop thinking about. And here's the crazy part. You won't even know when it happens, because it doesn't play out in front of you. It happens later, in quiet moments. Behind locked phone screens and closed bedroom doors. Picture this. It's late at night. She's lying in bed, scrolling through her phone, but not really seeing anything on the screen. She's replaying something you said hours ago, something simple, maybe even something you don't remember saying, but it stuck with her. The way you looked at her when you said it, the calm in your voice, the slight smirk, like you knew something she didn't. She's wondering why you didn't seem as eager as other guys, why you didn't chase, why you left the conversation open-ended, leaving her with more questions than answers. And now, you're under her skin, haunting her thoughts. She's smiling to herself, biting her lip, trying to stop thinking about you, but she can't. This isn't about game or manipulation. It's about emotional contrast. See, most guys are predictable. They follow a script. They text too much. They over-explain themselves. They try to impress. And in doing so, they become easy to forget. But you're different. You leave space. You leave mystery. You know how to walk away before the moment gets too familiar. And that's what makes you unforgettable. You become the story she tells her friends the next day. The one she wonders about in the shower. The one she stalks online when she thinks. No one's watching, because you didn't fully reveal yourself. You didn't try to convince her of your value. You simply were valuable. Calm, grounded, elusive. Most men will never know this feeling. They won't know what it's like to live rent-free inside a woman's mind without even trying. But you're beginning to sense it, aren't you? And here's the subtle move that triggers it. Leave conversations slightly open-ended. Don't overshare. Don't rush to fill every silence. Instead, drop just enough of yourself to spark curiosity. Then, pull back. End the conversation first. Walk away with a calm smile, not because you're playing a game, but because you're confident enough to know that the story isn't over. It's just beginning. Let her wonder. Let her replay it in her head later, analyzing every word. That's where your power lies, not in what you say, but in what you leave unsaid. You're not chasing attention anymore. You're shaping it. And the more you practice this quiet, effortless mystery, the more you'll start to notice it happening around you. Women lingering longer. Delayed texts filled with extra emojis. Messages late at night that seem to come out of nowhere. Few men ever develop this ability. But those who do, they become the kind of man a woman can't forget. The kind she dreams about in the quiet moments when no one else is around. And you You're well on your way to becoming that man. Before we wrap this up, ask yourself, do women lean into your space, almost without realizing it? Do you catch them glancing, then quickly looking away only to peek back again? Do they get nervous, fidgety, or awkward around you for no clear reason? Do they playfully tease or challenge you just to see how you'll respond? Do their friends seem unusually interested, whispering, giggling, or nudging her when you're near? And finally, have you noticed women reaching out later, out of nowhere, with no obvious reason? If you're nodding your head right now, even just once or twice, you already have the X factor. It's been there all along. You just didn't know what it was. But now you do. Rewatch this video if you need to, because every time you spot another sign, you'll notice it more clearly in your own life. Comment below and let me know. Which of these signs have you caught yourself seeing before? And remember this, most guys never wake up to this hidden current. But you're not most guys anymore. You see now. And the world is about to start seeing you differently too.